The People's Democratic Party has been battling a series of internal storms, from factional disputes, suspended leaders, and unresolved fractures have left Africa's oldest opposition party struggling to find its voice. Can the PDP rebuild before 2027, or is the party drifting further into uncertainty? Big question. Well, joining me to discuss this now is Ini Ememobong, is National Publicity Secretary of the PDP. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Dapo. Glad to be here.
Great. He joins from our Abuja studio. Well, let me first start with something that is making the rounds, and that is one of the biggest stories out of the People's Democratic Party. One of it has to do with the defection of the Osun State Governor. We'll talk on that from your party well, he has not yet announced the party is leaving, even though your national president has said that is unconfirmed. But another big one is the certificate of expulsion to some members. Let me use the word supposed now, former members of your party. The Minister of the FCT is on that list, former governor, that's Ayofayo Shetu, amongst others. What is going on within the PDP?
Like you said, you need some certifications to authenticate some things. If you go to school, you get a certification. When you become a member of a political party, you get to certify, you get a card of that party. If you win an elections, either internally or externally, they give you a certificate. So the convention of the party, having expelled the former members, it was good to certify so that tomorrow, if they need evidence, they can also say that, well, that's the evidence that we're given. So whether we would go through the murky waters of the challenges we're having is certain. When you see the result, you know that this is a democracy, and everything in democracy has to do with majority. When the majority have their way, but the say of the minority must be allowed, must be protected. So the question is, what is the disposition of majority members of the People's Democratic Party today? If you're in Ibadan, you will feel it even on the streets. If you go through the state chairman of the party, all the other organs of the party. And why is that so? That is so because the Tanimu Turaki-led executive is interested in repositioning the party to do what the manifesto says. It would interest you to know that what the manifesto says is that the political party called the PDP would have candidates in all elections and for all intents and purposes. So this ESCO is making sure that we activate the manifesto, we activate the reason for which the party is in existence. We do not become a strand of the ruling party. We do not become an ineffective opposition, but we do what an opposition should do, which is to keep government in check, to align with the wishes of the people, and to ensure that the activation of its manifesto is brought to bear.
All right. I'm going to still come to all of that, but I'm still staying with you on the issue of the certificate of expulsion. You said it's just more or less an evidence to show that, look, this is official in case they need to present it anywhere. But is this the culture of the PDP, or is it something that is novel? Is it new? Because I'm also tempted to ask, if I defect, for instance, from the PDP to another party, do I get a certificate of defection too?
Well, you see, the issue of certification, we've always been giving certificates. Like I said to you, it's just the name. The membership card itself is a certificate. The certificate of return, when you win a nomination, when you win an election, it only certifies the fact. So the question is not the certification. The question should be the act itself, because the certificate is a mere certification of a fact that is in existence. So this certificate that has been given is to attest to what had already been done and to conclusively show that the new executive, like you can see the certificate, the new executive is merely referring back. Like when you graduate, it's not the certificate that makes you a graduate. The certificate attests to the fact that you had graduated. So this certificate you're seeing is attesting to the fact of what had happened in the convention. And I mean, the recitation there says it all. So the certification is, we're a party of records, right. So we must allow records to speak for themselves.
All right. Now, what do you have to say about some members who, of course, have been expelled, from the party, who feel that the way the party is going right now, particularly with the convention, it did not follow the books. There were court rulings, and for that reason, the current makeup of the party and its operations right now might be unconstitutional and illegal?
Well, you know, there are objective facts which are naturally occurring, which all of us agree. They are subjective facts. There are people who do not believe in colors, and so they say they have color blindness. There are also people who do not believe in things that people collectively believe in. So when people speak about the court and speak about the constitution of the party, which we all agree to uphold, insists that for any sort of misunderstanding, people must submit themselves to the internal arbitration processes of the party before going to court. It makes the court the last point of ventilation. So in the cases where the people who took the party to court, in fact, it is considered a matter of discipline to take the party to court. So the people who took the party to court, who are now saying, oh, you need to obey the constitution of the party, we're asking the court to ensure, did they obey the constitution of the party that says that exhaust the arbitration, the negotiation, the peaceful means which are entrenched in the party? And it would interest you to know that there is a standing reconciliation committee. There are different reconciliation committees, some on subject matter basis and some on general matter basis. And if you are privy to even see the draft reports of those committees, you see the disposition of people. So people who think they can use the court to assume jurisdiction on matters which in general perspective the court does not have jurisdiction. And again, with respect to my lords, they have given their judgments. In the judgments that have been given, appeals have been entered into in those judgments and stay of execution filed, and the matters are before the Court of Appeal. And so while we await that, but the truth is that the Ibadan Convention held as a result of a court process. So you don't question us as to whether we had the right to pick and choose. In the order, a judgment was given, the party stayed execution. The next thing, another order was given, the party continued, another judgment was given, they stayed, and finally an order was given and they went on. So we are a very law-abiding organization. In this same party, in the past, you would recall that there were times even when we had a precedent that as we were preparing for convention, orders of court were served on the party on the floor of convention, and the party had to abide with it. There were times when a national chairman could not address convention because an order of court, whether ex parte or whether contested, was served on the party, even with a sitting president, and we obeyed. And at those times, a national vice chairman was made to act in the position. So we obeyed the last order of the court, and we went on with the convention. And you see that the organs of the party were there.
All right, I'm still going to stay with you on this issue of the convention, but this time I'll be bringing in the role of the FCT Minister, Isomike, who still maintains that he's still a member of the People's Democratic Party, even though, I mean, some Nigerians will say a certain faction of the party has issued a certificate of expulsion. So I'd like you to speak on this role, because for him, he won, particularly as regards this convention, that some sort of due process wasn't followed, and that this could spell some sort of disaster for the party.
Well, this is the part I'm not sure that I really like to speak about people, because small minds speak about people, average minds speak about events, but big minds speak about ideas. So why don't we stay with the idea of the fact that when you look at the people who are in contention, who is insisting that the party should not have a candidate, who is insisting that it is either his disposition or no other person has a way, who is insisting that he is a member of Party A, but he's going to be supporting the presidential candidate of Party B, then that clearly shows you don't need the wisdom of Solomon to distinguish who wants to kill the baby and who wants the baby alive. It's clear. I mean, so there's no need mentioning names. For me, especially with the disposition of the national chairman, when you look at the history of PDP, it is sad that at the point where we are today, people who suffered for the party at one point or the other, and who suffered to build the party, are now also exerting a lot of energy to kill it. I mean, so people have described the party in unprintable terms. I mean, and when you look at their political history and recall that everything they have been through the instrumentality of the party, you begin to ask yourself, where then lies this? And you see the way they speak. So if you divide the intention, if you're uncertain about where the end will be, just look at the intent. Look at the intent of it. So if someone says, look, I am a member of New Central, I work for New Central, but I'll be supporting a sister TV station in
but he also claimed, because we need to go on a break, right? He also claimed that he was given permission by the party to work, for the ruling party. I'd just like you to respond to that in 30 seconds.
Assuming but not considering that he was given permission to work in a government, was he also given permission to kill the party? Was he given permission to support the presidential candidate of another party?
Well, we'll of course continue on this conversation when we return. Stay with us, we'll be right back. Many thanks for staying with us. It's still Politics HQ on News Central Television. And of course, I still have my guest with me at this moment. He, of course, is the National Publicity Secretary of the People's Democratic Party, Ini Ememobong, is, of course, joining us from our Abuja studio. Now, let's move our conversation quickly to Osun State. I would like to a sound on tape to play as regards what transpired there today. The governor tendered a letter of defection, resignation from the People's Democratic Party, but a lot of reactions have come up since then. Let's listen to what the key speaker in the House had to say as regards the latest development within the PDP.
The candidate that got the making of the Adebayo 918 votes stands elected.
If Governor Makinde is desperate to become president come 2027, he should use another state as a tool, not Osun State. We are PDP members, bona fide PDP members, in a state whereby we have 25 House of Assembly members, a speaker, we have 5 House of Rep members, we have a senator, and a governor from another state will come to our state to dictate for us. We won't take that. We won't take that. And this is a message to everybody that we won't take this anymore. We are leaders of our party and we won't take this anymore. They came here to do what I can call a drama, and this will be the end of it.
I mean, that's the Speaker of the Osun State House of Assembly there, accusing Governor Seyi Makinde of stoking crisis, internal crisis within the PDP in the state. How do you react?
Well, it's unfortunate that almost everything that happens now, the name Seyi Makinde has become the buzzword for everyone. I think because he's a fine gentleman, he's a quiet person, he doesn't talk, so everyone would just like to heap blames on him. But again, the speaker, from what I can see, is a fine gentleman who should just go back in history a bit. On the 24th of October or thereabouts, INEC was given notice with today as the date for that convention, for that Congress. And series of activities lined up, the election of 3 delegates, ad hoc delegates, the election of a local government national delegates, and today was just the culmination of processes that had begun. And so when they say that Seyi Makinde, I didn't see Seyi there, but I saw a distinguished member of our party who is a former Minister of Police Affairs, Humphrey Abba there. They went with a full team, and you can see that INEC was represented. You can see that the Congress took place. You see, the truth is this, and in the next few days, I hope Mr. Speaker will still be able to maintain this position, because in the next few days, you may see actions that may be opposite of what he's saying. But this is it. Like the national chairman said, the person of the rank of the governor, and again, Governor Adeleke is a gentleman whom we love, if not for anything, for his simplicity, for how he associates with people, and for, I mean, he's a jolly good fellow whom everyone likes. We have seen on social media, we have read on social media, we've seen a letter purportedly written and signed by him, dated November 4. As of the date of our convention, his deputy governor was at the convention and had announced that he was not just there in his capacity, but was also the representative of the governor. And thereafter, His Excellency the governor would admit staying in conversations with party leaders. So it is shocking to see that, and we've not been communicated to formally.
Okay, I mean, so as of now, because I know that...
Just a minute. Okay. At this level, yes, everyone says we belong to the party. But the party constitution makes it that any disciplinary action that is to be taken against such people can only be taken at neck. What that also means is that if you're taking any decision that affects your membership, even if you inform the ward where you belong, you should at least have the courtesy to inform the national. As of today, like you heard the national chairman say, we are not aware. And so we don't deal with rumors and we don't deal with things on social media. He was on the ballot today, and maybe out of choice, you saw the events took place. It was many hours of events.
So just to get this in perspective, even though this letter was, posted on his official handle on social media, the party at the national level is saying it's not aware of the governor of Osun State's resignation. That's Governor Adeleke from the party. Is that what you're saying? Even though your chairman did say that, but officially that's the narrative.
Our members do not communicate with us through even official social media channels. Remember that in this country, something has been posted on the official channel of top government functionaries, top individuals who came out to say, no, I did not post that, because you and I know that not all official media pages are handled directly by the people. And so the agents who handle it may post something. I mean, so that is the clear thing. Assuming but not conceding that the governor has left. So what is the grounds of the speaker there? He either needed to be there to vote whoever remained, and again, that he was still on the ballot was that he could have had more votes than the other person who was there. Anyway, and he could now have had the opportunity to reject the nomination because he bought the form, went through screening, and was screened for this process. Another person bought the form, went through screening, and was prepared for this. So the simple thing that would have happened with the degree of popularity that they have would have been to go there and defeat the person.
But sorry, just quickly, but a different name was announced even at that Congress as the party's candidate. Even though you keep insisting that you are not aware at the national level.
No, it was a contest. So that's what I'm saying, that it's very simple, that the notice of publication had given time, venue, and date. So how come INEC was there and Mr. Speaker wasn't there? Maybe he was out of town.
All right.
Because if an event was advertised for 10 a.m., that event started on time and finished the process if the process was announced. What they would probably have done, which would have been better, if they are sympathetic to the governor, again, where we are today is a function of taking a decision that ought to have been taken many years ago.
All right.
If this decision was taken many years ago to ensure that discipline, party discipline was instilled, Governor Adeleke would not have found himself in this position. He's not the author of this. And therefore, for the speaker to try to put the blame on Governor Seyi Makinde, is simply bypassing.
Mr. Ememobong, just before I let you go, just a quick one, and I'd like your response in 30 seconds. Is Governor Seyi Makinde also contesting, or is he going to contest for the position of as the flag bearer, presidential flag bearer of the party in 2027? I'm
asking in Ememobong of Governor Seyi Makinde's intention.
I mean, you are the party's national, of course, as publicity secretary. You might just.
The duty of the national is to receive aspirations. Where we are now, we've not gotten to the level of aspirations.
Okay, because the Speaker of Osun State House did infer that. So, I mean, one would want to look at it and say maybe there's some credence to that.
No,
does he have an ambition?
Maybe they see a presidential material in him. As a party, we are blinded to aspirations. We see all our leaders as leaders, not as potentials. The day anyone says he wants to run, then he comes forward and we begin to have that discussion and we put a level playing field. Maybe Mr. Speaker has found presidential materials in Seyi Makinde and begins to know. You see, if you nurse feelings about some things, you begin to think that those things are playing out, because sometimes the things we fear the most come to happen.
All right. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure having this conversation with you, Mr. Ini Ememobong. Of course, the People's Democratic Party, the National Publicity Secretary. Once again, thank you for your time.
Very much.